Vincent had been a vampire for over a century, and he had seen his fair share of battles. But this time was different. He was outnumbered and outmatched, and he knew it would be a fight for his life. Vincent had been traveling through a small town when he stumbled upon a group of vampire hunters. They had been tracking him for days, and now they had him cornered in an abandoned building. Vincent knew he had to act fast if he wanted to survive. The hunters were armed with stakes and silver bullets, and Vincent could hear them closing in on him. He retreated to the shadows, using his speed and agility to avoid their attacks. But for every hunter he took down, two more seemed to take their place. Vincent knew he needed a plan, and fast. He remembered a nearby church that he had passed on his way into town. He knew that vampires were traditionally weak around religious symbols, but he was willing to take the risk. Vincent made a break for the church, with the hunters hot on his trail. He burst through the doors and was greeted by the sight of dozens of crosses and holy water fonts. He could feel his strength beginning to wane, but he knew he had to keep fighting. The hunters followed him into the church, and Vincent used every trick he knew to evade their attacks. He flipped over pews, slid under altars, and even scaled the walls to avoid their strikes. But as the battle wore on, Vincent knew he was running out of time. Just as he was about to be struck down by the hunters, Vincent made a final desperate move. He grabbed a nearby crucifix and held it up to the hunters. They recoiled in fear, and Vincent saw his chance. He lunged forward, taking out the remaining hunters with a flurry of blows. As the dust settled, Vincent collapsed to the ground, exhausted and weak. But he had survived, and he knew that he had a newfound respect for the power of faith. Vincent vowed to never forget the lessons he had learned that day, and he knew that he would continue to fight for his life as long as he